Okay, so first, this is the Angels in Politics broadcast. Sometimes I start talking really fast. This is the Angels in Politics broadcast. Remember, you are the news, and we're excited to have you. You're all we think about. You're all we care about. You are the most important being on this, not only on this planet, in the universe, right? So, like, be aware of that, right? Be prepared for that. So, boom. I was writing earlier today, dude. The work that is coming your way, like, I hope you're prepared for it. Even if you're not prepared for it, it's still coming your way. But I like it. You know, to say the least, I like it. I like where I'm like where I'm at with it. And it's still in its early stages too. Like, there's a lot that needs to be, refined and assessed, and just to make it, clean. I mean, as far as this, the grammatical order of things and the structuring of it. And I plan on adding some creative elements, to it to make it a bit more pronounced, and to have its own, uniqueness, and to provide novelty, right? So I think that's what a lot of us are looking for. We want to be ourselves. The path to individuation is what Jung talks about, but that's just another way of saying, like, know thyself, right? Knowing thyself is hard because you might feel like, oh, I know who I am. I've been living with myself since I can remember, and there's nothing that nobody else can tell me. And it's like, well, try it. Start to go outside and talk to people and ask them their opinion of you, or ask them, and not to say that what other people have to say about you should truly, like, devalue or lower your sense of, like, self-worth, self-esteem, your sense of self in general. But it is, I think, a necessity if you are interested and you're, like, honestly, like, keen on continuing to grow and improving yourself in every way imaginable. You should ask your close friends. You should ask your family members. You should ask your coworkers, your colleagues, your advisors at your job, or the corporate, executives, whoever the case may be, upper management. Ask them, like, what is their perception of you? Like, ask them, like, what are some things that stands out about you in a positive way, and what are your areas of opportunity? All right, you should be able to conduct your own SWOT analysis. Your strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, teachable moments, ways that you can get yourself to the next level, to that higher, rung of success and upward mobility. Good morning. It's not even morning time; it's the evening time. But yeah, like, and that's the thing. I was writing. I was writing just now, a few moments ago, and I was able to speak with an individual in my cohort, in my fellowship that I'm in, and he mentioned how, like, my writing is a certain way and how he enjoys it, but there are things for sure that I could work on as far as just being a bit more concrete, going straight to the meat of the topic, dealing with the specifics, the specificities, and not having such flowery, wafty language, which I tend to. Not only do I tend to, it's the truth. I definitely talk this way, and I write the way I speak. So he's like, yo, that there are times for that, right? There are times for the elegance and the sophisticated, refined verbiage, and the almost Victorian-like vernacular, and all of these things with heavy adjectives and the elongated sentences that run on because you have so much to say and so much to describe, and you're just so into painting a picture. And there are places for that, but some of the best work, some of the best or more are there are most popular writers like a Hemingway or Steinbeck. Some of these guys, a lot of these guys, are Jane Austen. These individuals are very succinct. They're wordsmiths in their own right, and they're fantastic. Fascinating by the way they can extrapolate concepts and articulate them in a clear and presentable and digestible manner. But at the same time, like, they're not giving you too much extra like fluff, and they're not beating around the bush and all these types of things. And they're like, yo, this is what it is. How do you feel about it? Like, and it's great to have that. I forgot what the term he called it, like code switching. Code switching maybe is from, like, being that type of person who is going to speak in a formal or this type of way, and then you can also speak in plain speak, or in plain English, or in a very clear way of talking, the same way I might be speaking with you. You might be my homegirl, you might be the homie, you might be my friend, you might be my confidant, you might be the person who I'm comfortable with. And it's like, this is effective communication. Like, we don't need to be like, I don't need to be presenting myself like I'm in front of, Congress or something. Even if I was, I'll probably be on the more comfortable tone than I would try to be presenting them with some like wafty language, because I want them to know. I want them to know how I feel about certain things, right? So yeah, just that code switching of like, hey, the way you speak to your professor or to the pastor or minister at your church, it can't be one way. But then the way you speak to your friends, the way you speak to your 7 or 8-year-old niece or nephew is going to be in a different way. And being able to communicate effectively on both ends of that spectrum shows an effective communicator, shows sophistication. That's the motorcycle or whatever. That shows, like, I don't know. It's you're able to delineate what style works best for each occasion, and that comes with intelligence, that comes with time, and that comes with awareness, so yeah. But that's not even what I wanted to talk about. But, well, I guess so. So what I really wanted to talk about was, guys, I was speaking about a moment in which, because I'm writing Homegirl Day Liaison right now, and that shit is going to be turned up. And I was speaking about how guys treat women certain ways, or specific ways, according to their looks, right? And it's just a straight up, and I'm not saying all guys, I'm not going to generalize guys, because I can't. Guys aren't monolithic, right? But I have noticed that there have been a lot of men who I've known that present themselves in a way that is proportional to the attractiveness, or their versions, their parameters, their guidelines of what attractiveness is to them, to the women, to women in general, right? So when a guy likes a girl, when a guy finds out that let's say when a guy finds this woman to be attractive, he fancies this lady, or there's the group of girls, because in every area of life and activity, there's going to be a hierarchy, and there's a social dominance hierarchy. There's always a hierarchy in any place that you go to, where there's jobs, where there's the workplace, the same thing, family, friends, school, sports, music, entertainment, whatever, economics, whatever. There's always going to be top-down information, top-down presentation. Just, there's going to be a top, and there's going to be people in the middle, and there's a lot of people going to be not on the bottom, but they're not going to be the ones who are the influencers. These are the people who are going to be the one in charge, right? Everybody isn't in charge of everything in life, for sure. But it's funny, because when you find the women, or the girls who are in the top of the food chain, so to speak, or the social dominance hierarchy, we find out that these girls are coming to a party, or they're coming to, have dinner with you, or are they presenting themselves in a certain light, they're going to come around, or you're going to see them, you find that, there are guys who all of a sudden want to put their best foot forward. It's kind of remarkable. It's actually fascinating in the sense, because that same dude wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for the apex girls, if it wasn't for those the socially high status women, if it wasn't for those attractive, beautiful, popular, which is in turn the high status women, right? So it's like, the women of equivalent, or according to you, of high value. Now all of a sudden, then let me make sure that I am a man of value as well, right? And it's wow, it's interesting, because there could be girls around who you don't feel that way about, right? There could be women around who, to you, they don't fit your standards of what attractiveness is, or what a hot girl is, or what, your dream quintessential archetypal, divine feminine is. And it's funny, because these guys are a bit, comfortable with themselves. They're not changing their clothes, they're not changing the way they speak, they're not, walking her to her car at night and opening the door and pulling out the chair at a restaurant, and they're not presenting her with flowers, or they're not, you know what I'm saying? They might not even be asking her questions like, tell me about yourself, tell me about your day, what are you looking to do? Like, none of these things are happening if they don't find you to be the type of woman that they're looking for. And it's cool. Well, I don't know how cool it is, but it's funny, because when you see those guys in quote unquote action, right? When you see those guys around the women who are, on the top of the social dominance, chain or pyramid, it's like, oh shit, like, should I, put on cologne or something? Oh, maybe should I actually shave? Yeah, let me shave. Like, maybe I might actually brush my hair today. Like, maybe I might put on a shirt with a collar. Like, what I'm saying? Maybe I might actually, like, iron my pants today. Like, it's like some of the most basic, things that are commonplace depending on, where you live and your upbringing. But like, chivalry comes back. It's like, oh damn, like maybe I might not, belch in public after drinking, my 40 ounce in front of women, and maybe I won't curse as much, and drop the F-bomb casually through conversation, even though I tend to do that. Like, like maybe I might actually, like, refine my speech. Maybe I might even tuck my shirt in today. Like, I might shave, cut my hair, put on a shirt, like a proper shirt, tuck my shirt in, iron my pants. Who knows? Like, I might actually become a man tonight. Like, I might actually be a man for her. Like, for these other girls, oh, I won't even mention them. For these other girls that I see who I don't find attractive, I may not even, like, look their way. They may not even exist. Some guys won't say hello, won't say how you're doing, won't see if, how's your family. Like, no, don't care. But for little Miss, Miss whoever, if Francesca walks into the room, now you're king. Now you're ready to, be dignified and notable, and you're a man of virtue. When Sophia walks in the room, oh shit, like, you're making sure your tie is straight, and you're checking yourself in the mirror, and you're making sure everything is sorted, and you might even through some what's that shit, mouth washing, and you're checking your breath, you're smelling yourself. You want to make sure you're sorted because, Sophia and Francesca and, Amelia, like those girls are the hot girls, like those girls are the women, like those girls are women amongst girls. They're ahead of the curve. They're ahead of the game. Not only are they beautiful, but they're brilliant. They're intelligent. They're competent. They're well spoken. Like they're articulate. Wait, they speak multiple languages. Like they're doing a whole lot of cool things. Like wait, they're in shape. Wait, oh you can't mess this up. You can't fuck this up. You can't risk her figuring out that you're just a guy who watches television all day and plays video games and is not the most in shape and really doesn't care too much about like their lives and whatever the case may be. You really want to put your best foot forward. You want to present the highlights of yourself, or you want to doctor yourself up and get yourself crisp and clean, but it's almost like it's only temporary. It's almost like it's a temporary charade. It's an act, and you're hoping that the woman doesn't see through this act. And I figure, or I've come to find out that guys, it's not going to work out in the long term because eventually they will always know who you are. They're going to find out who you are, guys. Like they're going to know what kind of guy is doing this because he's trying to impress them, or what guy's doing this because he's really with the shit. What guy is really the guy who's like about this lifestyle? What guy is really like not only pleasant to them because he's trying to take her home tonight, or he's trying to score a kiss at the end of the night? Like what guy is actually pleasant to women off the strength? What guy is pleasant to not only the 23-year-old ballerina dancer from I don't know, East Village or West Village, Manhattan? Like, no, what about the guy who's as pleasant with the ballet dancer as he is with the 70 years young lady at his local church, or his mama's friends who come over to knit and stitch clothing, scarves for their some nonprofit, for the homeless shelter? Like that guy who is as pleasant with his younger sister, who's a teenager, who has those loud friends who just like to come over and do whatever teenage girls do. Like are you equally as pleasant? Are you equally as dignified? Are you equally as presentable on all fronts? Those type of individuals will reap the benefits. For sure. And I'm telling you, it's for sure. Those guys actually will reap the benefits because women have a sense of this. They have, they're intuitive, they're instinctual, they're smart, they're perceptive. They have I won't even call it a sixth sense, maybe it is, but they just apply their senses and they synthesize them and they can pick that guy out. No, he's genuine. He's actually with it. Oh no, he's like that. But they can look at other people and be like, brother, you're trying to stunt right now. You're trying to front right now. You're trying to get laid tonight. I mean, they might commend you on that. Like, brother, like you did clean up. You ain't getting no pussy, but like you did clean up. You know what I'm saying? So just something to think about. Namaste. Namaskar.